Hi everyone, this is Joyce Twing. I hope you've had a nice break and are looking forward to the start of the semester. The purpose of this video is not to teach you anything about the actual functionality of Canvas. Sean Daly is our instructional technology specialist, and he does an awesome job of teaching us about the actual functionality of Canvas. And he knows how to teach us things that we didn't even know we wanted to know. The purpose of this video is to show you a few things that I have learned during this past almost year now of remote instruction. Some of the things I learned from feedback from students, student surveys, the Fresh Start retreat, those sorts of things. Some of them I learned from my own experience of trying things and seeing how they worked. The most important things that I heard from students were things like it's helpful if the class is well organized. It's helpful if it's clear about what we're supposed to do and when we're supposed to do it. And it's helpful if everything happens on Canvas. So thinking about those things, I tried to put this spring class together with all of those parameters in mind. Now, I am not in any way here to tell you that I think my class is better than anybody else's. I'm just here to show you a few things that I think work well for students and work well for teachers. Well, this class is an entirely online classes for juniors and seniors. One of the things that I think I have learned is that regardless of whether I'm teaching a class online, by asynchronous Zoom, or face-to-face, I will use Canvas exactly the same way. I would have fewer discussion forums or that sort of thing in a face-to-face or synchronous Zoom class, but the basic design of the course and what I would put in the class as far as information would be exactly the same. So if we look over here, you'll see that this menu is fairly simple. Only put things here that students will need to access. Hide everything else. Things like assignments, discussion forums, quizzes, files, those can all be linked and should be linked in the modules, not a big long list of them here, which is confusing and overwhelming because it's not always clear when the students are supposed to use those particular items. And then if you look over here, you'll see that there is a to-do list of assignments. All of them have due dates. This class is one that I open the entire class on the first day, or in this case, a few days before the first day. The students can see everything that they will need to do during the semester. This class doesn't have quizzes and tests. If it did, then obviously I wouldn't open those early. And I don't do this with all of my classes. Sometimes I open just 3 or 4 weeks at a time. This class has a lot of our online students, and many of them have full-time jobs and families, and so I give them an opportunity to always know what's coming up. In the event that they know they're going to have a busy time at work, they can get started early on some of the assignments. I make a video clip here. This is just a media clip where I'll open this class, publish it probably on Wednesday or Thursday, so students can listen to me and kind of see who I am, and some of the students know me, some of them don't. And then I use this as front page, but I'll take this down after a week or so and just use the modules as a front page. Another thing that I want to call your attention to over here, you'll see that I have the Zoom app here, and this class doesn't have synchronous Zoom meetings, but I might have online office hours, that sort of thing. But if you meet with your students via Zoom at all, I would suggest that instead of trying to email a Zoom link to them or post a Zoom link in the announcements, that you would pull the Zoom app into your class menu, schedule your classes here. The students can access them here. It saves them a lot of time and confusion, and it saves you a lot of time. I mean, we don't have to email the links to the students or try to get them to them somehow. It's just right here. You schedule your class here. You can say it's a recurring class, and Zoom will schedule it for the entire semester. So it just makes sense to do that. Let's take a look at the modules themselves. I make a lot of videos for this class. I made a lot of videos for my synchronous Zoom classes. In the fall, I had 5 synchronous Zoom classes. At first, I've always made a lot of videos for this class because it's entirely online. At first, I wasn't sure I would do that for the Zoom classes because I actually met with the students, but I decided to try it, and it worked well, and I would continue to do it. As you may have noticed, or maybe it's just me, but my students don't always hear what I tell them the first time. And sometimes what I think I have told them is not exactly what they heard. So putting videos in the Canvas class where I talk about the syllabus, I show them how to view their feedback on assignments. Surprisingly, a lot of them don't know how to do that. And then as you look down through here, see I have videos for all of the assignments. When it takes a little time to do it at first, but it saves a lot of time, because when students ask me questions that I have already answered in the video or already answered in a class, I can simply refer them to the video and they can watch it again. Here I have the resources that students will need, the syllabus and online office, and these are some projects that the students are going to need to do through the semester, so I put this all up here where it's easy for them to access it. When we look here, you'll notice that I use a weekly module format. What week is it? What are the dates? Now, that's entirely up to you. Another thing that I do that helps with consistency is I make all assignments due on the same days of the week. If we come back up here and we look at the calendar, you'll see, if I come over here to February, you'll see that all of the assignments are due on Saturdays and Sundays. And again, these dates are primarily selected because so many of the students are part-time students who are working and who have a family. Now they can post their assignments ahead of the due dates, but I've been teaching this class for a while, and I've learned through feedback from the students that this is the due date format that they like the best. They can count on it. They know that if something's going to be due, it's going to be due on a Saturday or a Sunday, and there typically is something to do on both of those days. So that has been helpful. Obviously, when we put due dates in, we're putting due dates of when something is due. And in order to get something done when it's due, you have to start working on it sooner. So I put an assignment schedule, and this is just a page, it's easy to do, at the start of each week, where I sort of guide them through the things that they should do in order to be able to be ready for the due dates. And I tell them in this video here of the overview of the class, this doesn't have to be the schedule they follow. They can make their own schedule, but they need to understand these are things that they would need to do in order to be ready for uploading assignments on the due date. Here's a discussion forum and things that go for the discussion forum. And I want to show you something down here. I heard teachers talking about this in the Fresh Start retreat, but I didn't have enough time I was not able to enter the whole thing, so I didn't have enough time to talk about this as a suggestion. Here's discussion forum 1. If you use discussion forums, you know that typically you will post questions or you will post something that students need to answer for you, and then at another date or dates throughout the week or however long you take, they need to do response posts. Canvas doesn't allow you to add a second date on a discussion forum or an assignment. That's a big topic of controversy in the Canvas community forums, but so far Canvas hasn't allowed that. So what I do is I come down here, I create a page. When you create a page, you can put a to-do date on it, and I tell them, don't forget, your response posts are due, and when we open this, you'll just see that I have just repeated the instructions for the response post, and you can see that it has the due date on it. So that works. That seems to work fine for reminding them to do response post for a discussion forum so they don't forget to do them. Now I want to just come down here and show you. You'll notice I've got this assignment schedule all the time. When they have a project, could be anything, where there needs to be more than just instructions that are included on the assignment itself, then I make a page, a folder. This folder has a video, it has instructions, it has samples of this case project. Instead of putting them all here and making a big long line of things, take up a little bit more room, they're all in here. So if we open this up, we'll see there's a video, we'll see there are the written instructions, and there are a couple samples of this case project 1. So using the page to put those in just condenses it here. Try to make this on each weekly schedule not too long so it won't seem so overwhelming. All right, let's see. I think I've told you just about everything that I thought, that I found was important. I'm sure there are other things and things that you have discovered that I don't have on here, but again, clear, consistent due dates, if at all possible. A condensed menu here. Schedule any class meetings in the Zoom app so the students can get them here. It's my goal that the Canvas website is where everything lives. Everything about my class is here on the website. I email them from here. They get their assignments here. I post their assignments here. They upload their assignments here. They look at their grades here. They look at their feedback that I give them. You'll see here I've showed them how to see their feedback. I use grading rubrics. Plus, I also, for the case projects, I use the edit function so I can make any corrections, and I send them a personal message about each of their assignments. So I do all of that in Canvas. They can see all of it in Canvas, and they can go back and review it. So it's easier for me. It's far easier for me. I don't, even if I'm in a face-to-face class, I will not collect paper assignments ever again. Everything will be on Canvas from me. Everything will be given to me, submitted to me on Canvas. I'll grade it, and the students will see it. They can see it on a laptop. They can see it on the Canvas app for students on their phone or on their iPad. So these are just some things that are not really hard to do, and I think it makes it easier for me, and students say it makes it easier for them. So hopefully this has been helpful, and if you have helpful tips that you have found that you would like to share with me, I would be most happy to hear them. So let's all of us have a great semester.